Hey, what's up YouTube? Chris Gardner here, and today I'm going to show you something I made. It is just like this, a little kind of way to help you set your new rates. Let's say you're moving into a new city or possibly providing a new service. It could help you to do a little research on your competitors, figure out what they are doing, and that might help you enter your market more effectively for whatever you're going to start providing. So, just to give you a little example, let's say I want to, let's say that these are all the providers in my area doing a certain service, and I want to step in with maybe I'm super green at it and I'm not going to do very well, and I might want to go with that. They're saying, well, this tool is saying the market might expect me to be around $88, right? If I'm going in that low, kind of along the lines of you get what you pay for, and there we go. Maybe if I was a five-star quality provider, it's saying, yeah, you could go in a little closer to 300. So let me show you how we do that. This could save you loads and loads of time on your pricing for your business. I see, it's a question that comes up often enough, and doesn't matter if it's videography forums, photographer, sometimes tech support, all sorts of things. Everyone, I think, can use a little help pricing in their market, especially when the rates are seeming to fluctuate so much. So use this tool. I'm going to show you how to build it in, this is Apple Pages, but we can do it in just about any spreadsheet software. So let's get into it. So I'm in Apple Numbers, but this should work just as well in something like Google Sheets or Microsoft Office Excel or LibreOffice, their equivalent product. Really all we need is the spreadsheet function and the ability to use some specific mathematical formulas, which, there's nothing new or unique about Apple's formulas. It's all pretty well standard stuff you might have learned in high school even. So we're going to call this our new rates. And this is where we're going to do most of our work. We're also going to add in one extra table, and if you don't have exactly this function, no problem. You can just put it in its own little spot. We'll call this one inflation. And that's something you hear people talking about a lot lately, and it should factor into your business. So we'll just put that like that. And we're just gonna, let's go ahead and format this cell. Whoops. I'm gonna format this cell as a percentage. Great, now let's leave that. Let's format this table, and these steps are just helping us to make everything neat and tidy. You don't have to do everything I'm doing here, and there may be some steps that will not go exactly as I described here, depending on the software you are using, or maybe even the software version. So let's get into it. So we're going to use a formula. It's going to take basically two different columns of information. One is a price range, and one's a quality level, because that's kind of how most everything in business kind of works out, is you pay for higher quality. And so we're going to use something like that in this example to help figure out how we should set our rates. So here we're going to have let's just say service providers. Now I'm going to do a real estate photography example because it's a good candidate. There's a pretty consistent understanding between realtors and the photographers about what is normally included in a real estate photo shoot. So it's a good one for us to compare against, because you don't want to be comparing a portrait shoot from one photographer to a product photo shoot of another photographer. It's just, they're not going to line up that well. So, whether it is hourly rates or, price for, maybe it's even wedding packages, wedding videos, something like that. This should probably help you. So let's just go ahead and put in a few people. So person one, and let's just make it so we have about 12 people. Sure. Now we will go, now this is a table just about one service. So let's call it the photo shoot. And now here, we're going to call this our rate column. And this will be data format currency. I like doing this here because it helps us not make mistakes later when the cell knows what kind of data it's supposed to be getting. We're going to call this one quality level. Now this one is kind of the brains behind the operation, and the more calculated you get with this, And the more accurate this representation is of that particular provider's service, the better your overall estimator is going to be. So here we have rate, quality level. We are going to put in our new rate. So let's just populate for a real estate photo shoot. Let's put in a couple prices of things I know. So there's some people, as low as $100 maybe. There's a lot of people around the 120 to 140, 150 rate. There's a guy I know that's doing 75. There are, a number of people that are a little higher priced. So we can put some of them in. Now in this one, I'm going to use something easy like a star rating. But if you want to make this into, a percentage value, so, 4 might equal 75%, and then it would give you a little more control to kind of programmatically or algorithmically arrive at a quality level value for each provider based on, a number of factors that you can bring into the calculation. I'm not going to go over that because that's a whole other video, and instead we are just going to populate this. Now, in my case, I'm using this star value, and if you choose to do the same, I would caution you against, it doesn't matter what you think of their work. There's probably not anyone doing single star work or even 2-star work because realistically, they're probably not in business, and if they are, there's not necessarily a good reason to base your decisions on what they provide. So most of what I'm going to set up is in these upper 3 stars. But having said that, let's just put it all in there.
All right.
And then let's just say that we want to make our new project, and we're our new product, and we are aiming to provide it at a rate, to compete with the bulk of the people in the market, which appear to be 4-star individuals or 4-star services. So it's actually a pretty straightforward calculation to arrive at that number. But before we go any further, let's quickly just talk about this inflation rate. Now, the reason why I've included this is, not only because we are 2021, 2022, and inflation is higher than it has been in 40 years, but also because without it, this algorithm, this kind of equation that we're going to make is only going to ever put you within the data set. It's never going to put you outside of the data set without this. And what that means for you pricing in your market is, let's say that if one day everyone started to use a tool like this to price themselves, eventually the prices would never rise and they would stay inside the data set and possibly collapse, which isn't good. We don't want that. So inflation rate is going to let our rates grow. Right now we might peg it somewhere around there. Now, let's go ahead and do that calculation. So ultimately what we're trying to find is this new rate based on our 4-star service inside a market of, these 12 providers working at these rates with this quality of service. So there's actually something already built in to pretty well handle that whole thing. So we hit equal sign to start our function. We are going to open a bracket and do a forecast. So X value is, this is singular, and then data set. So X value data set, Y value data set, and then this is what we are projecting off of. So the X value we are projecting off of is going to be this one. And comma. Now the opposing value, the Y values from the data set, is going to be this one. Or, the rate is kind of what's decided by the quality level here. And then, so we're going to go comma again and grab this here. Now we'll close bracket that off. And we also want to factor in the inflation rate. So to do that, multiply it by 1 plus the inflation rate. So we get a number greater than the one we're starting off. So now let's see what we get here. 224 out of 4-star product. And let's just see who else. 4 stars, 200 and 250. We're right between those fellas. We are significantly priced higher than these guys, but they might be, a little low for the 4s. And so, we're obviously still left with a few questions like that. But now let's see. Maybe we could tell who is priced over and who is priced under for the market. So let's go over under, right? We're going to use it here, like I just described, to figure out where the market might expect a person of this quality level versus where they're at. So how we do that is we're going to go back to here. We're going to grab this very same equation. So Command C, and now we're going to go here. And we're going to go equals and Command V it. Now the one thing, because this is entering an equation, we want to lock off this equation. So we're going to lock that with $2 signs. That means when we fill this down, this number is not going to try and move around on us. And also we want to change this because we are no longer predicting against this one. We are now predicting against the individuals that we are, in this row. So we're going to take this out and we're going to make that into this one. Oh yeah, no, that's good. Okay. So we can go check market. So we have half of our equation there. And now we're going to further bracket it out. I might have one too many brackets here. In any case, this minus the great big bracketed equation we created. There we go. So now we can see that this person may be undercharging up to $50 for what the market expectation is. And so let's see. We can see if people are significantly over. So this person is significantly under. So there we go. That's about all there is to it. It's not too crazy, and this may help you. I'm not saying you should do exactly this rate, but doing a little bit of research, you will be able to find a pretty good estimation of where the market would like to see your services priced. Just remember, there's a lot riding on how you figure out this quality level. It's almost the entire basis of this. So the more effort you put into calculating this, the better you will have an estimation of this. And so there we go. I'm not promising you that this is going to be a rate that you can be profitable at, but it may indicate that if you can't be profitable at this rate, maybe your competitors are doing something that you are not, or who knows. It's just one tool in your tool bag that's going to help you hopefully be more effective for yourself, your clients, and your business in the long run. So if this helped you, let me know. It doesn't seem like something you'd find on a photographer's channel, but I've actually done a little, several projects like this. I helped a realtor create a pretty substantial spreadsheet for tracking members on their team and their deals, and, kind of projecting their year that far versus years previous, and when they can expect, bankroll coming in and stuff like that. So there's really a whole lot of power in just understanding spreadsheets. Here's one way that you can do that. If it helps, that's great. Let me know. And if you want to see anything else along these lines, leave a comment and I'll try to get it put together for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you next time.